All right, Cowboy Nation, really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to this thing. We should be nowhere near 500, collectively speaking. We face against a team that's dynamic, that plays in the poorest division. Well, I'm going to say that, yeah. They got a good head coach. I'm sorry. They got a great head coach, the Bill Belichick's of the world, right? The New England Patriots versus the Dallas Cowboys. Are they beatable? Yes. Here's how you win against the New England Patriots. Punch them in the mouth. We have to start off fast. We have to tackle, sack, knock him down. Make sure you know that he feels you. Hear me out. You got to make sure you know that Tom Brady feels you when you hit him. Now, I do know that the officials, they love Tom Brady. So they may gonna call some crazy, nefarious calls all night long. But we have to be ready for it, or all day long, because we play an early game. So we have to be ready for it, locked, loaded, and ready for that game. We have to be locked in. Here's the thing. The reason why I say that this team should not be close to 500, because we got so much talent. We got the best running back in the NFL, right? The way everybody's saying he's an elite running back, right? We got the elite running back. We have a dynamic offensive line. I don't want to hear nobody saying if Ezekiel Elliott is not elite, then the offensive line is not elite and not nowhere near close to being above average. So this offensive line should be just what, average? But when you have an average offensive line that's helping Dak Prescott throw for a god doggone near on pathway for 5,000 yards and 40-some touchdowns, give me that average offensive line then. And if you can poll 1,000 offensive linemen and say, hey, would you rather run block or pass protect? They're going to say, give me the run block situation any day. If they line to kick it, they may say otherwise. But you already know how this thing go, Cowboy Nation. We have everything put into place. A dynamic Amari Cooper, a dynamic young phenom, Michael Gallup catching everything that's thrown his way, plucking it out of the sky, looking like a mixed breed between a Michael Irvin and a Dez Bryant. Yes, I said it. Until he showed me some other things otherwise out there on film and tape, I'm going to say, man, this brother is a cross mixed breed between a Dez Bryant and a Michael Irvin. He don't have the, look, here's the thing. He's faster than Michael Irvin. He don't have the size and the physical strength of a Dez Bryant. But when you just look at him, you'd say, man, that's Michael Gallup, boy. He's somewhere in between. That's just how I look at it. And on top of that, when you start talking about the additions with the Randall Cobbs of the world, oh my goodness. Now, here's the thing. We talk about elite statuses, above average statuses. We have an elite tight end. I'm going to say it again. We have an elite tight end. His name is Jason Witten. He's elite only in the sense of mentally, from a X's and O's type of guy. But physically, we can see that he's not elite. So I heard a lot of people asking me, Law, is Dak Prescott elite if that's the situation? He's on the MVP run. And what I'm trying to tell a lot of people is Dak Prescott is leading or heading into the elite room. If this is the door, he's knocking on it. He's like, he's trying to knock on that door. He's saying to himself, I want to be in this elite category. But the criteria of being elite means that you have to establish yourself for multiple years. You can't just do it 1 year. You just can't do it 2 years. And yes, he's heading in that direction. A lot of people said Pat Mahomes is elite, Law. No, he's knocking at the door as well. See, you got to spread this thing out for multiple years. And see, when that elite quarterback, they just find ways to continue to win, even when everything, all of the pitfalls are against them, regardless of the offensive line play, the running back play, and on top of that, the receivers that's, I guess, running plays out there as well. But neither here nor there. What I'm trying to lament to everybody is Dak Prescott is knocking at that door. But he got to just temper your expectations. He got to patch up some of these things and put everything and place them in order day by day. Now, here's the thing. Ezekiel Elliott, he came out year one running through the league. Everybody trying to scratch their head and say, how do we stop this young phenom? Then year 2, Roger Goodell had to stick his toe in the water. And of course, we saw some strange things happen to Ezekiel in year 2, but he still showed that status that, hey, he brings this thing to the table. And then year 3, we saw that he was echoing or repeating the same things that he was doing year 1 and year 2. So that's what made him elite. Now what we're seeing is that some of those physical attributes that he had in his rookie year, sophomore, and his last year's third year, basically, we see some of that stuff is declining. But when you can live off reputation, you know, here's the thing, old folks know this. When old folks like your granddaddy, your grandmas and stuff, hear me out, especially if you're in the South, you go into a store and they say, hey, Law, don't worry about it. You can have this item. And you be looking like, why? Oh, because your granddaddy helped me out many of years ago. Or your granddaddy used to cut this yard for my auntie 10, 15, 30 years ago. You see, don't worry about it. I was living off of the reputations of my grandfather. You see, you can live a lot off of reputations. You know, they say, man, we try to load the box because we try to have Ezekiel Elliott. The focus and the concentration is on Ezekiel Elliott. And we've been waiting for this moment for Dak Prescott to take advantages of the one-on-ones on the outside. You want to know why I've been saying that? Because the same look's been there all year long in the 2016, 2017, and 18. The look's been there, but Dak Prescott was not able to capitalize off of it. And until he got Amari Cooper last year, we saw some of that growth factor of it. And we would say to ourselves, man, if he can continue to play like that, man, shoot, he'll be knocking an elite door real soon, real quick. Oh, Law, do you have any information for the nation on that? Yes, I do. I got some recalls, some revisionist history. I got some information for you. John Elway, he was a fantastic quarterback, just great in his own sense. But until they put TD back there, right? Until they gave him a running game, he was able to say to himself, man, now I get the one-on-ones on the outside. Now I can manipulate a lot of things as it relates to changing plays and understanding that they try to sell the form on stopping the run, and I can really eat with my passing of the ball to one-on-one encounters. Oh, Law, do you have any more information on the nation for about that information? Yeah. Check out the time that Brett Favre won his Super Bowl. Let me know who was his running back, you see. So running backs go hand in hand with the quarterback's play. It helps the quarterback extend their careers as well. And running backs, you know, unfortunately, they're the sacrificial lamb because their careers doesn't last as long as quarterbacks, unfortunately. But they slow the game down. And when they invite that single coverage, quarterbacks that's good enough can take advantages of those situations. On top of that, if you have a dynamic tight end, man, you can see wonders as well. Just take a look at what Lamar Jackson is doing with his set of tight ends. And we can go all the way back about Pat Mahomes too, with his dynamic tight end. Even the Super Bowl that the Eagles won, they was utilizing their tight end and some run fits. But neither here nor there, a lot of people don't want to talk about that. But what I'm trying to say is, Cowboy Nation, this team should not be close to 500. We got dynamic pieces on the defensive side of the ball as well. A Tank Lawrence, a Robert Quinn, they're being explosive. Now, although LVE is showing that he's having a quote-unquote sophomore slump type of year, unfortunately, and I count that to the entire linebacking core of why they're struggling. Continuity is everything. I'm thinking that with LVE, I think that injury been going on for a while. It's just that the Dallas Cowboys, they like to hold back some things and they like to baby and cuddle some things out there. And that's just the reality of it. We're facing against a team that is beatable. The blueprint is out there to beat this team. The New England Patriots, you put pressure on Tom Brady, he'll fold up like a pretzel. You just got to do that. Lamar Jackson and those boys show what you have to do. And then on top of that, the defense, you got to hit Tom Brady. You got to get him off his marker. I think that this team possesses those type of traits as it relates to the defensive front. Here's the thing. Although Shawnee Michel and all of the other running backs that the New England Patriots got have not been gashing their opposition or opposing teams, but they're going to be ready with those screen passes. And we got to play sound, disciplined football to combat against that. If not, we'll be seeing the same mundane thing happening over and over again. Teams exploiting our weaknesses and we don't make the adjustments. 9 times out of 10, we do play down to the level of competition, like the Jets game and some games that we've seen in the past under this Jason Garrett administration. Not trying to poke fun at Jason Garrett, but that's just the reality of it. But let me tell you guys right quick why this game is so pivotal. Because we should be nowhere near 500, right? But also, you got Jason Garrett playing against a coach that everybody know that he's dynamic. And Jerry Wayne Jones, Jerry Wayne Jones is a very emotional type of guy. And when you really look at it, Cowboy Nation, if Jason Garrett run out there and we so happen to win, maybe Jerry Jones will look at it and say, you know what, my son beat the best head coach in the National Football League. And if he can beat him on this stage at a away game, meaning that this coach have the capabilities or the possibilities to win a Super Bowl. And so therefore, I'm going to extend my son to a 5-year contract or maybe a 3-year contract. We've seen things like this happen before. Or Jerry Jones can shut up everybody and say, hey, here's a 10-year contract. How would you like those apples? We know that Jerry Jones is an emotional guy. Or Jerry Jones can look at it and say, well, we won and I still want hardware, and therefore what I'm going to do is see if he's going to win us a playoff game, multiple games, and get to the big game. And if he don't get us there, then I'm canceling services. I don't think that Jerry Jones have that in him, especially at this age. I could be wrong. I could be. But we'll find out, right? And what makes this game also pivotal is because of Dak Prescott. Everybody, the narrative is still on him. And Ezekiel Elliott too, can they win against dominant teams? Can they beat a team with a winning record? You know how that, you guys been hearing that all over ESPN, the Four Ladder Network, NFL.com and beyond, right? Can we win against the good team? So everybody got their backs against the wall. Normally, like I said, we play down to the level of competition. But I'm going to give you guys a news buzz too. We do play up to the level of competition. That's just been what this team been all about, especially during this Jason Garrett administration and a few years before that too. That's what this team been looking like. We never know what we going to get. We never really walked into anybody's stadium for the last 10 to maybe 15 years with confidence saying that we're going to beat this team. This is going to be a W. We kind of sort of like that a little bit with the Giants. We've been owning the New York Giants for a couple of years now. We almost with that, I ain't going to say cocky, but with that confidence knowing that we're going to beat the Giants. But still, some plays come out there, we're looking at it like, hey, what is going on there? What was that, you see? Well, why are we struggling against this type of look? Just like I said last week, the Detroit Lions were 26 against the run for a reason. They just not all of a sudden said, oh, we're playing against the Cowboys. Now we're going to fit our lanes correctly. Now all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboys can't get yards and penetrate. They're 26 for a reason. There's 28 against the pass for a reason, although we exploited that part of it. But I guess you can fall into the sunken place a little bit when you just focus in on the stat portion of it. So who knows? Cowboy Nation, I really want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinions of this team. Why we should be above 500, right? Why we shouldn't even be nowhere close to that. Let me know. We got the talent. We got the skills. We just got to figure out ways to get this coaching level on both sides of it. I'm not even letting the defense off the hook. These defensive players want to run around and say, hi, boys. We just want to see the Cowboys play. We just want to see them play. Or the Purge Squad. We just want to see the Dallas Cowboys play. So we'll see how this thing unfolds. I really appreciate you all. YouTube reached out to me. They have a wonderful feature now, and they said that they're going to unlock it for me called membership. And within that membership, we have packages or membership elements as it relates to qualifications. We got silver, we have gold, we have premium platinum, basically. But they all are elite, and I really appreciate you all. If you want to join that membership, it's kind of like Patreon. It's one of those things where you get hidden access or behind the scene and requests for film sessions and film reviews and help support the nation in those factors. So I really appreciate you all. If you want to join the membership, just hit that join button and let's get this thing rocking and let's grow this nation. Let's get this thing going one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace. Let's go.